Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on brushes. Had a couple people ask me what I use to make most of my stuff. I do use brushes that are downloadable. So there's a lot of places you can get brushes. Brush Easy is one of them. Also DeviantArt. We'll go to my DeviantArt. It's a lot easier that way. I am on DeviantArt. Chitty Bang is my username. Got some of my stuff on there, but the way you do it is you get into the search. So you just go to their homepage. You're gonna go into resources and stock images, and you're gonna be looking at application resources. So in there you're gonna be able to find Photoshop, PSDs, Illustrator stuff. But what we're looking at is Photoshop brushes. You can find those, and there's just tons. So one that I don't actually have that I've been meaning to get is this fractal set. So what you'll do is you'll go, and over here it'll say download. So this is a zip file, so you'll need to be able to unzip things. But most computers can do that without having any programs. So it downloaded, so you just open it up, and mine actually unzips it into that folder, so you can just exit out. And here is my jumbled folder. And so this is what the brushes look like. Here's some other ones I actually have, but here's the one we downloaded. So what you'll do is you'll just actually double click on it, and it's going to bring it into Photoshop already. So you can close that, go back into Photoshop, just make a new whatever size you want it to be. Then once you pick your size, let me zoom out. Your brushes is actually that little paintbrush icon over on the left there. It's also B as a hotkey, but it is right here. And as you can see, I have one pulled up. Hitting F5 will open your brushes panel, and you can kind of see I have a whole bunch. And the ones we just got were these fractals. And these are, you can already see they're different kinds. So this is a little small, but using these is really easy. For instance, let's see here, something like this is more of a border type thing, so you could use these up in the corners, as well as, so that already gives it a cool effect. And then these are any color, so I had red pulled up, so you can edit them in any way you want, really. Put the black over top of it. Then we go to more splatter looking effects. My mouse is dying. Uh-oh, I just got a notification that my mouse is dying, so that's not good. Let's see, try to get this done. There's also some some of the zombie stuff that I use, these are actual brushes that people have made. I mean, right there, that's pretty cool. You can just put that inside. Doing this inside of text is what's really nice. And you always want to make sure you organize your layers. As you can see, I put that all on one layer, so if I want to delete it, I have to delete the whole thing. So I kind of, you always want to make sure whenever you're doing something that's going to be changing the overall look of the document, or the look of your project, you want to make sure you start a new layer or put it in a new folder of layers. I'll go over layers later. I'm going to make another video explaining how to do that, because I've just recently started doing that, and it's helped out a lot. Also, downloading fonts is a good idea. There's a lot of fonts out there that are really nice. Let me get a good solid one to show you how here we go. And this for example is a downloaded font that I got off of DaFont, DA font. They have a lot of free fonts on there for Mac and Windows. So usually what I do is when I get a font, I put it in a font folder, and I keep it because once I go to my Mac, I usually want it on there if I had it on my laptop or vice versa. So messing with these blending layers is also a really good thing, this FX panel. So you can go into once you have your text layer selected, go down here where it says FX, and there's a lot of different options, like adding drop shadows, which is really nice to text, as well as stroking it. You can stroke it with a different color to bring it out better. So like if I use a white, Also, there's outer and inner glows. Doing something like this would give it a reddish glow. And blending modes plays a big difference. So you can see it's in screen right now. If I put it on normal, it's going to do the whole thing. The screen actually is screening what's below it, so it's putting it over the black. These are really good features, make your stuff look a lot better. But what I was telling you about was the putting the brushes on top. So what you would do is hold Command or Control on Windows, Command on Mac, and click it. And now you can see, I don't know if it's very visible on the video, but there's a I can't remember what to call it, the snakes, I guess, that are just the marquee is around each letter. So what you do is create a new layer, and naming your layers is also a big thing. Always do that so you know what they are. If you go back into brushes, get like some splatter, get like a red. You can actually come back and add splatter to each individual letter. You always want to change up your brushes so they don't all look the same. Kind of gives it whatever effect you're looking for. And because of that marquee, then it's not marking down here. Like I could click down here and it won't do anything. But because there's that marquee and the snakes around it, they can, it knows just to let me put this in that area. So that's kind of a nice little tip I learned through all of my designing. One last thing is that the layer, there's down here, it's right next to the new layer, it's create new group. So let's say I wanted to put the effects to this page. So let's double click this and rename it effects. So then what I can do is take this layer and holding Control or Command on the Mac, will select multiple. And if you click the top one and hold Shift and click the bottom one, it'll select all in between those 2 points. You can actually drag them into here, and now it's in this folder, so I can hide it, and so this doesn't get so jumbled. On this screen, this is a 27-inch iMac, so it doesn't really get jumbled, but I've had a point where I had them all the way down, and once I put them into folders, it made it really organized. Using these groups is a really nice feature, as well as, let me give you a better example. I actually was following then there's a lot of tutorials online. If you're looking to learn how to do something, there's probably a tutorial on it on the internet. I do not see where I put it. For example, here's the PSD for my YouTube layout, which is just I merged it, so there's the background, then I put all these layers together to make the actual layout. It wasn't really too tough. There was probably a total of like 8 or 9 layers, but in the end it just all came down to how organized it was. So organization is a huge thing when you're making stuff, especially if you're making it for someone other than yourself, someone where you're gonna have to show them, hey, this is what I made, do you like this? If you have to go back, and you can only control Alt Z or undo so many times. So saving it in multiple different ways and saving the PSD and making sure you can delete something if you need to, or change the color or change the text is always nice. It's good to cover yourself. I actually must not have saved it, but the way you can see there's a lot of duplicates in there because one's a JPEG, one's a PNG. Here's one with this one's messy. See how I haven't named any of these? This is my other YouTube. This is my I do a lot of gaming videos and commentaries, so this is my other YouTube account. This is the layout I made for it, and you can see there's just all some of this I don't know what it is. Like this would be the inner brush. I should rename that and all of that, but I won't go into that now. But if I were to rename that, I would have known exactly what that was, so I didn't have to sit here and unclick and click it to see what it was. So I hope this tutorial made a little bit of sense to you. But using brushes is a good thing. There's a lot out there. Like I said, there's that DeviantArt. There's Brush Easy, And I'll link these in the description so you can actually see them. Brush Easy is a good one. Just Googling Photoshop brushes brings up a lot. And I mean that you can put patterns in, which will be patterns in Photoshop. You can use those on text and stuff. So there's a lot of different things you can do that if you can't do it yourself and you want to save some time, you can use a brush or use a different font. There's just a lot of resources out there that some people don't know about. So this is the font where I got some of my fonts, and you can see some of these are pretty cool. If you're working on a school computer, I'm not really sure if you're going to be able to download these and use them. You'd have to check, but you could probably end up bringing them on a flash drive and just using them for the day, just importing them through your flash drive, making sure that they don't have viruses, of course. And on Windows, you can do that by just right-clicking on the file and saying scan with, and it'll probably say either AVG or Norton or whatever your antivirus is, and you can actually scan it to make sure it doesn't have a virus so you don't mess up any computers. So hopefully I didn't confuse you too much, but thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, rate, and subscribe to the video. Thanks.